Доброго дня, шановні друзі.
Good morning, dear friends. Ukrainian Crisis Media Center is continuing its work, and we are starting our next meeting with the project Spokesman of the Peaceful Life. Currently, within the framework of this project, backed up by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Germany, we are going to talk with a person who seems to have found a unique way of work of honest, decent adults with children who are in conflict with the society. Our guest, Gennadiy Mokhnenko, a world-famous pastor coming from Mariupol, head of the rehabilitation center Pilgrim, the largest, biggest rehabilitation center in post-Soviet countries, who is saving children finding themselves in the street. Dear Gennadiy, for me, saving children seems probably the biggest social good that a person at your position can do, and you have been doing that more than 18 years. As far as I know, you have helped many children who have found their way in life and who have selected a way that became the only correct choice in their life. That's why the first question for me, before we will see a short video screening about the activity of your rehabilitation center. What keeps children around you? What is it? It's in his or her nature, a child needs someone strong, big, kind, who will support, who will protect, who will inspire. A child in his or her structure needs someone big, strong, and kind. I am big. I'm 1 meter and 82 centimeters tall, and I am strong. I had a box fighting with one of my adopted children, and I am kind. And the people keep saying that I am kind. Gennadiy, please introduce your boys with whom you have brought to the studio. I have a wonderful couple coming with me. When they are together, I suggest people would make an experiment. One of them is the 32nd adopted child, and the other one is my biological son. And I always ask people who is adopted and who is biologic. Who is the adopted son? That or the other? One of them is the adopted 32nd adopted child. Maybe the one who is taller. Taller. Maybe he's yours. Maybe. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. He's my adopted son, but beloved son. And this one is my beloved biological son. Why beloved? Because all of them are related to me. We have a term we use among step parents. I'm going to have a meeting with multiple step parents today. Today we are going to have a party. We'll rejoice, we'll regret some things, we'll build strategies. We have our own word we use. Make in home. Made in home. Yes, this is my biological son, and this is the adopted, but they are all beloved sons. Gennadiy, let's see a short video, and after that we'll continue our talk. Please. They have made a meeting of the government. They raised the Europe flag. The first European area is Gennadiy's office. Congratulations. Welcome. Of course, I saw hard-boiled guys. I am a hard-boiled person. Let's show everyone how the West Ukraine is behaving. That's good. Everybody worries. Right now, shall we go upstairs? Shall we run? Make a running competition? Is your English is fluent? No, but you go with missions. The New York Times called my English gratefully horrible. Children shouldn't see my English, me speaking English, before they go to bed. This bicycle was given to me at the route La Tour de France, and I rode this bicycle many kilometers, Mariupol, Kyiv, Moscow, and all Russia. We rode our bicycles 15,000 kilometers. Unfortunately, we've just come back. As soon as we came back, Russian tanks penetrated into our territory. Many people went to war, and I became a chaplain. After since war began, we came through 10 European countries, Baltic countries, and then we crossed the USA, and we conquered Ararat. This is Kilimanjaro, African tallest mountain. Why we are doing that? Because we want to draw people's attention to adoption. We are adoption fans. 3,500 children went through us, coming from the most difficult social category. This is the largest post-Soviet rehabilitation center to help homeless children. We have helped more than 3,500 children over these years. In the first generation, 80% of children were drug addicts. They had holes in their necks, and their veins are all spotted. Dear Gennadiy, we have just seen a small reporting from the rehabilitation center Pilgrim you had. What was the beginning of all this? We started to feed children, street children in Mariupol in 1991, the end of the 80s. There were very many children in the street. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the social assistance infrastructure started collapsing as well, and hundreds of children lived in the streets in Mariupol. We started to feed them, and we didn't think about how it would continue. And then every time we brought food to children every day at the same time, and children started to get together, making friends. And some of them asked, can we live here with you. And this is how our rehabilitation work with children started. And we didn't think it would grow into the largest rehabilitation center of the former Soviet Union. We didn't think that we'd screen dozens of films, including Hollywood. We just fed children, and when they settled with us, they started to invite friends from the street. A little later, we stopped asking children, street children, whether they wanted to come to us and to live with us. We started to take children from the streets to live here. We spent hundreds of nights in the streets. So step by step, we were changing the situation with homeless children in the city. Over 3.5 thousand children have passed through the rehabilitation center, which is the largest post-Soviet center in the post-Soviet Union. This is a very impressive figure. Not only 3.5 thousand children, but saved souls. Dear Gennadiy, you've noticed that you work both with difficult children and with children who are drug addicts. As to me, this is probably the hardest rehabilitation work to help drug addicts. Do you have a certain methodology? Do you get a doctor's assistance, or maybe it's only your own methods that you can influence these children? The first generation of our students were actually for 80% drug addicts, but thanks God, we don't have heavy drugs used by children. Like we brought children here 10 years ago with having all their veins spotted. But drug addiction is not a medical problem, and this is where we should begin. Because if we think this refers to medicine, then we try to solve this problem by medical ways. Drug addiction is not a medical problem. It's just like if you treat a drug addict with pills, this is completely useless, like you treat a dead person to get him come back to life. We need resurrection to wake up drug addict's soul. When I talked with the head of the healthcare department of Mariupol, he says that the only thing that can save a drug addict, this is a profound religious experience. Then I laughed, and then I invited him to come to my church on Sunday, and that will be a good experience. We have a large experience of adult rehabilitation and children rehabilitation. A drug addict needs some grounds to keep him or her in life. And religious experience, religious idea that he or she is created by God. And the second way that this person needs, this is to change social environment. He or she will need new people with clear and light ideas and good principles that can resurrect many people. On my way to the city, I was stopped by a road patrol. I rode a motorcycle, and he recognized me. He said, "Oh, you are Pastor Mokhnenko. I know you, that you've saved many drug addicts." Yes, and maybe he's right. You may talk about thousands of ex-drug addicts who came back to normal life, who have children, and who now have adopted children as well. Because drug addiction is not a sentence. When a human soul wakes up and resurrects, and he or she has all the chances to come back to normal life. Dear Gennadiy, first of all, you are a pastor. What part of the religious education do you pay attention to in your center. We are not persisting on religion because teenagers' the religion ideas is a very subtle thing. It's about spiritual search of an individual. But of course, we keep telling children about that we believe that there is God in heaven, and there is a righteous life, there is evil, there is good, and of course we call children for supporting good. This is made by educators in any educational institution. Do you remember a very famous poem written by Mayakovsky, where an adult tells children what is good and what is bad? If there is no God, when we cannot find good and evil, we cannot tell one from the other. Of course, we say to children, you are Christians, we trust in God, and we advise you to choose the way of good, light, and truth. When a child takes this simple idea and lays it into the foundation of his life, this makes kind of a skeleton, and it's much easier to him or her to follow his or her life way. And when we say to a child, when an individual originates from a monkey and there is no point in life, let's love each other, then it's pointless, because a human being is God creature. So I have some grounds for the system. Unfortunately, many educators, world famous educators, we're not Christians. We practice the Christian system. Before we pass the floor to our small guests, please tell us, do you maintain relations with your graduates, those children who became adults and who came to an adult life, who come back to you? Very many people maintain links with us. Someone comes to visit us in many years. Someone has come through a very difficult way, and one of my graduates came to me, and he was sad, and he told me that, Pastor, you were right, I need to change something in my life. Very many graduates are close to me geographically. Some of them became people who come to my church. And there are people who live far from our center, and there are my graduates who live close to me. Right now, I'll call my adopted son one of the best ex-street children, and who was sentenced to a 3-year imprisonment because he took a saucepan with soup from the fridge and ate an additional portion of soup. Now he has a birthday. He got married recently. So this is all different. Someone lives near us, someone we don't see very often. Okay, let's meet your wonderful sons. Let's start with the one on the right. This guy is on the right. Simon. Hey, his name is Simon. Good morning. Simon. Good morning. Tell us how you like your life in the center. What did you do before you came to the center? He's my biological son. So how do you find common language with your brothers and sisters? How many brothers do you have currently, and how many sisters do you have? 4 sisters and 32 brothers. This is not an exact number. Do you remember the film Alone at Home? They always had a problem to count children. Then we used to ask our children who would we take with us. 1 girl and 2 boys. Who will be next to take, a boy or a girl? We are expanding our geographical map. Today I had a conversation with my wife, and we hope we'd be able to take another 2 or 3 boys or girls. Please introduce your second son to us. His name is Daniel. They both have an orange belt and taekwondo. He is my 32nd adopted son. Good morning, Daniel. We are glad to see you. How do you find your life in such a big family? Everything is excellent. Okay, dear Gennadiy, we are very happy to see such a large and friendly family. Our time is almost up. And my question will be, who helps you financially to maintain such a big family? Where do you get your funding? And where can we see your webpage about your center's activity? To read the general information, how can we find you? Where can we apply? Let's say, where can homeless children address? Our center is very easy to find. The easiest way to find is the internet, Pilgrim Republic. You'll find our main website, or you can find me in all basic social networks. Gennadiy Mokhnenko. I answer on Facebook. You can ask me any questions, and we can tell you more about our center, who needs assistance in educating difficult teenagers. This is our permanent work. And as to funding coming to our center, this is always an interesting question to me, because for these years, my adopted children have eaten tanks of soup, they use thousands of medicines and other things. My Christian community supports my family, my children, so somehow we survive. There are kind of people who bring food or clothes. Somebody helps us with construction materials. And this helps us to survive and to develop the state of ex-homeless children. Dear Gennadiy, thank you very much for being with us, for joining our project Spokesman to Peaceful Life. Thank you to Irina, who is in Mariupol Crisis Center, and we wish you all success and prosperity to your center. We thank you, and please accept our deep recognition and gratitude for your generous activity that you have saved so many children. See you later. God bless you. Sergei Malarchuk was with you in the project Spokesman of Peaceful Life, and we will see each other on Thursday. Bye-bye.